Well, welcome to this Song for Sunday, and we're going to look at, or we're going to listen to, Psalm 24, but let me just explain a little bit about it. We're singing it to the tune St Georges Edinburgh. Now, my church, the Free Church of Scotland, was, for most of its history, a church that sang a cappella psalms only. We changed that about 10 years ago, but we didn't give up on singing the psalms, and we still do so. And I absolutely love it. I cannot understand. It is beyond comprehension to me why churches don't sing the psalms. I would rather belong to a church that sang the psalms only than to one that didn't sing them at all. Now, personally, I prefer the biblical mandate to go psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. But also the a cappella side of it. I remember in St Peter's, there were very few of us initially, and I remember one man coming in who was from Turkey, and afterwards he said, "Dave, I love that man. I love the plain chant." And it wasn't plain chant, it was our a cappella psalm singing. And I used to say, we don't sing hymns and we don't use musical instruments. And he said to me, well, he kind of inspired me to be a bit more positive. And I said, we sing a cappella and we sing God's word, and words that are 3,000 years old. And I'm glad that we still do that. I think it's great to have contemporary songs and, well-known hymns, and I think it's great to have musical accompaniment. But one thing you guarantee, if it's done well, then psalm singing is amazing. And in St Peter's, we learned to do it well, thanks to one of my elders, Alistair MacLeod, who became a minister. This is him singing and leading this. Just a little word about Psalm 24. The tune is St Georges Edinburgh, written by a man called Andrew Thompson, the Reverend Andrew Thompson, who wrote it because he was disappointed at the poverty of worship within Scotland. And this is just a great tune to write. I love the version you're going to hear. This is not a choir singing, this is just St. Peter singing it. And I love this. This became our theme psalm. Particularly at communions. We often sang it at the end of the communion. And sometimes, I'm not kidding you, as we went to the final hallelujahs and amens, it was so precise. And we finished in absolute silence. It was so stunning. I've been moved to tears, and I feel moved to heaven through singing this. And boy, do I miss not singing this. If I could teach the Anglicans here to sing this, I'd be so, so happy. To have a couple of thousand people at Katoomba singing this would be my dream. It's just a great song about welcoming Christ. It's about Christ ascending into heaven, but it's also about Christ coming to us. It's about us opening up to him. The King of Glory comes. It's just beautiful. So I'll leave you to... Oh, no, I won't. Actually, I was going to say that the church, St Georges Edinburgh, the tune was named after the church, and that became the Church of Candlish, a very famous Free Church minister. It eventually went back to the Church of Scotland, became quite liberal and dead, but I was so delighted when Charlotte Chapel Baptist Church and my good friend Paul Rees, they bought it, they've taken it over, and the praises of the gospel are singing out in that place again. And I'm just thrilled for that. If you get a chance in Edinburgh, please go and visit that church. But anyway, I'll leave you with "Ye gates, lift up your heads on high." See you next week. Or you can join us for Coffee with Job on Monday. Bye.
You ancient